to be quickly showing you how to do a condensed weave stitch. It's very simple. I'm going to be using this Signet Yarns Seriously Chunky Metallics. It's a gorgeous yarn, it's really silky, and obviously you can see it's got a really nice sheen to it as well, but I will link this in the description box below as always. They do it also in lots of other lovely colours. Now this is a super chunky yarn and it says to use either 12 or 10mm hooks. Now because I want mine to be quite a closed stitch, I'm going to be using a 10mm. I don't want to just make a sample piece, I am actually going to be making a piece to cover a cushion. So I will do the weave stitch as. So you're going to start with your slip knot, and as always there is a tutorial on my channel to show how to do that nice and slowly. For your foundation chain, you want to work any even number of stitches. So as short as you like, maybe for a scarf, or as long as you like for a blanket. As long as it's an even number, then that will be fine. So to chain, you just yarn over and pull through. But again, if you're not sure on chaining, then just nip and check out my beginner series. So complete your chain of an even number. I'm obviously just going to do mine to the width of my cushion. So I've completed my chain now, and it's the right length for my cushion. And we want to start working back across our foundation chain now. We're going to be doing treble crochets. Now remember, that's UK treble, US this would be your double crochet. So into this third chain back from your hook, so you've got 1, 2 and 3, you're going to do a treble. So yarn over, insert into that stitch, yarn over and pull up, and you'll have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. And for this row now, we are just going to do 1 treble crochet into every single stitch along. So yarn over, insert into the next stitch, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And you're just going to do that all the way along. Now obviously you don't have to use a chunky or super chunky yarn for this, you can use absolutely any yarn that you like. I just obviously am using this yarn because it's the yarn that I want to use for my cushion cover. But any yarn at all is absolutely fine. So I'll meet you when you get towards the end of your row. I'm just getting to the end of my row now. I have got 1 last treble to do in that final stitch. And that now is my foundation row completed. To move on to the next row, we want to chain 2. So 1 and 2, and then you're going to turn your work around. And we're going to be working back along this row now, doing front post and back post treble crochets. We're going to start and finish every single row with an ordinary treble into the top of a stitch. Rather than doing a front or a back post, we're going to finish just with a normal. So into the base here of where we've just come up from, we're going to do a treble crochet into that stitch. So yarn over and insert and do your treble. And that's the start of our row. And now around this next stitch here, this is where we're going to start our front post and back post trebles. So we're going to start with a front post treble crochet. So to do a front post treble crochet, you want to yarn over, and then you're going to take your hook around the back of that stitch. You're going to go right around the back of the stitch and out of the other side. You can see at the back my hook's pushing right the way past that stitch. So you're going to push the stitch out to the front. Then you're going to yarn over and pull up, and as normal you will have your 3 loops. So you're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. And that now has pulled that treble forwards. You now want to do a back post treble crochet. So to do a back post, you want to yarn over, and then you're going to take your hook around the back of your work, and you're going to come up next to the treble that you want to go around. So you're going to come up through that gap here, and go in front of that next stitch and then back out of your work. So you're pushing this treble now towards the back, and you're going to yarn over and pull up, and then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's your first front post and your first back post. So now again onto this next stitch, you want to do a front post. So yarn over and insert your hook around the back of the treble to push it out towards the front, and then yarn over and pull up, and then complete your treble. So yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And then again we're on to a back post treble. So you're going to yarn over, go around the back of your work, come through and over the top of the treble to push that treble out to the back. Yarn over and pull up, and then complete your treble. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then you're back to a front post treble. And you're going to work that all the way along until you get towards the end, and I will meet you when you get back towards this end here after you've done a back post treble, and I will meet you there in just a moment. So I'm just coming to the end of my first row, and this is how I'm looking. I've just done a back post treble crochet around this stitch just here. So we've got this one treble left here, and then the funny little turn one from when we started our row. Now the end of this is actually a little bit awkward, because if we do a front post treble around this stitch and then chain up and then do a treble into this, the top of this stitch here, it starts to throw off our work a little bit. So what we are going to do is treble crochet. So we've done a back post around this stitch here, and we're going to almost miss this stitch out, and we're going to work into the top of that chain just here. So I'm going to do a normal treble into that stitch. Just like so. To move on to the next row, we're going to chain 2 again and turn, and then as we said previously, we're going to do a normal treble into the very base of where we've just come up from. So into the base of that very first stitch, you're going to do a normal treble. And then we're ready to start our front and back posts again. But this time you want to make sure that you're doing the opposite of what you can see. So here now you can see that we've got a front post treble from the last row. So we want to make sure that we're doing the opposite. So we need to do a back post treble around this stitch now. So you're going to yarn over, go around the back again for a back post, yarn, and then complete your treble. And then this is a back post treble, so we want to do a front post. So yarn over and go around the back of that one to pull it forwards. And you're going to repeat that all the way along now, doing the opposite of what you can see. So back post, then front post, and so on until you get towards the end of your row once more. So once you get towards the end of your row again, that's where I'll meet you in just a minute. So I've just worked my final front post treble crochet around this stitch here, and you can see we've got that chain 2 and the treble from where we started from last time. So you're just going to do a treble into the top of that final stitch. Like so. And then again you're going to chain 2 and turn. So we're going to repeat that row now over and over again by doing that very first treble into the stitch just there at the base, and then start with this treble here and work the opposite of what you see. So you will start on this row with your front post treble crochet, and you will work that all the way along, alternating between front and back post, and I will meet you there in just a second. So again, I've worked my final stitch around that stitch just here, and then I've got my little treble and my chain 2 from the previous row. So again, I'm just going to treble into the top of that stitch, and I'm going to chain 2 and turn, and then just repeat again. So treble into the base of that stitch, and then carry on working across, doing the opposite, so the opposite of whatever you see. So I'm going to be starting again with my back post and alternating all the way across. So you're just going to repeat that over and over again until your project is as large as you'd like. I've used this with cotton yarn to make things like face cloths and dishcloths and things, and they've turned out really nicely, especially with the definition that you get with cotton yarn. But I'll work up a few more rows of this and you can see how it's looking. So as you can see, I've worked up quite a few more rows now, and this is how it's looking. My edges are, excuse the knot here, I've just attached obviously a new ball of yarn, but my edges are pretty straight because it's so bulky, and because of the pattern itself you will get the odd little lumps and bumps, but that's nothing that a simple border wouldn't fix. But that is it for this woven stitch tutorial. I really hope that you've enjoyed it. You can see the lovely texture that this gives, and especially in this super chunky metallic yarn, I think it looks absolutely beautiful. But please remember to subscribe and give me a quick thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and to tag me on Instagram as well. I will link my Instagram in the description box, but please tag me in any photos of anything that you make from my tutorials. I really do enjoy seeing those. But that's it guys, and I will see you for another one very soon. Bye for now.